What up, y'all? DCFaygoGuy here. This is Daily Spirits topic number 9. The question was, or the topic is, if you could have a conversation with any artist about any particular song, or even ask questions about a particular song with a specific artist, who would it be and what would you ask or what would you want to talk about? Holy fucking shit, that's a lot. I have so many things I would ask, quite a few. I mean, first of all, Violent J, I would want to ask a lot of shit to. Tech Nine, I would want I want to ask certain songs, but like, what made you come up with that? You know what I mean? A lot of them. So I've been stewing basically ever since I watched that video. I've been sitting here stewing all week about what I would want to ask someone or who I would want to talk to, and I mean, it's so hard to narrow it down. So I'm gonna go with probably a song that really speaks to me, and I think I would just want to sit down and talk to them about the meaning behind it, how they feel about the whole topic, because it is a controversial topic, and then that would spiral into so many other things. But first of all, I would want to talk to Burton C. Bell, which is the lead singer of Fear Factory. Now, on their 2010 album Mechanized, the very last song is called Final Exit, and it was inspired by the actual Final Exit program, which, if you have no idea what that is, it was back in 1991. It was a publisher or a publicist from LA. He actually assisted his wife in committing suicide through an intentional overdose. She had been fighting cancer for years and years, and it was a losing battle, and she was just suffering so much and in so much pain that it was something she wanted, and he wanted to end her pain for her. And so from there, he wrote a book called I think it was called Final Exit, or The Final Exit Program. Well, it's called Final Exit is the book, but there's a program now called the Final Exit Program where people actually try to help assist in these people that are terminally ill killing themselves so that they don't have to suffer anymore. And it's very controversial for the obvious reasons that they're assisting in suicide. And when Burton C. Bell from Fear Factory heard about this, he was inspired by it and wrote a beautiful fucking song. If you've never heard it, definitely go look for it. It's Final Exit by Fear Factory. It's a really great song, and it's one of the reasons I love Fear Factory so much. So I would really just want to sit down with Burton and just kind of know what it was about the Final Exit program that inspired him to write this song, what his thoughts on it are. And then from there, I think we would just kind of spiral out of control, because ever since I was a little kid, I've always been intrigued by cyborgs. And ever since I was old enough to understand and comprehend the Terminator movies and even the Matrix movies, I've been really into that whole man versus machine, a machine war, machines taking over the world. I've always been inspired, into that kind of shit. It's always been in my mind. I'm a very imaginative person, and that's something that I've always thought about. So after I discovered Fear Factory back in 2008 and started listening to more and more of their albums and discovering more and more songs that I was just connected to, it just exploded for me. So I would really pretty much want to sit down with both, even Burton C. Bell and Dino Cazares, which is those are the two founding members of Fear Factory, the original two members. So I would even sit down with Dino and just want to talk, anything about what we think of politics, society as it is, because they have a lot of songs that have to do with society and the corporate machine taking over and everything. So I think it would be really cool to sit down with them and just get lost in a conversation about the world as it stands. So I mean, I would love to do that even with Violent J, but I don't know, because of the kind of stuff that Fear Factory does music about and the kind of stuff that I feel about with that kind of thing. I mean, I could sit for hours with Violent J and talk about how much I hate so many things in this world. But I mean, why not put a different kind of spin on it, how they're putting microchips in dogs? I mean, I could sit there with fucking Dino and Burton and be like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think they'll ever do it to humans? Do you think they should? You know what I mean? Because they write a lot of songs about that kind of shit and whatnot, about more or less their music is not so much that machines take over. A lot of it also has to do with, and there was even a quote from Dino that said that man does count on machine to a certain point. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for machines and technology, we wouldn't be where we are, if you think about it. If you really think back to when they first invented the wheel and shit like that, if it wasn't for technology and getting to where we are now, we wouldn't be the thriving race that we are. So it's kind of like, it's like that best friend or that tool that you've created, and ultimately not letting it destroy you, because, you know, when you think about AI and all that kind of shit, machines thinking for themselves, that's when you get into fucking the Terminator movies and the Matrix and all that kind of shit, where there's that one machine that realized, I don't have to take shit from humans, and then takes over. So it's always an interesting thing for me. So I would definitely have to say I would love to sit down with Fear Factory and just fucking shoot the shit about technology, about society, the corporate machine and all that. And maybe not so much in a hateful way, because I mean, like I said, I could sit with Violent J for hours and talk about all the shit I hate. But, you know, let's take it somewhere kind of different, you know what I mean? Instead of just be like, yeah man, I fucking hate that bitch because she fucking did that, and fuck that, and let's, you know, let's talk about things where it stands now, where we think it could be, you know, remember back then, or just have a creative kind of conversation with them. I think they'd be the guys to do it with. So I definitely say Fear Factory. Burton C. Bell, Dino Cazares, fucking Fear Factory, dude. If you don't know who they are, go find them. Go look them up. Go learn some shit. Listen to some of their music. If you don't like it, hey, you love some shit, you hate some shit. And if you love it and you find something, then I'm glad I got you guys into Fear Factory, because they're a badass fucking band. So this has been DCFaygoGuy. Thanks for checking this out.